Well, today, it looks like we're going to be engaging in something very rare, which is me actually playing a video game. It's really a once in a while thing. And right now, this is reminding me of my youth. What I would do every single day is I would like get home from school and I would just boot up the arcade mode of this game like I'm playing right now, and I would listen to the Super Best Friends cast or like a Super Best Friends Let's Play every single day and play this game, and I would do that for hours, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so good at fighting games. Meanwhile, I was just playing against the CPU, and I never got good. But I've beaten this so many times, I would be pretty embarrassed if I ended up dying, like, before the final boss. Once you hit the final boss, it's okay, because he's kind of bullshit sometimes, even though he's not that hard.
No, I don't think I've ever played Street Fighter 2. I've only ever played the one on Genesis, but I only have the controller with 3 buttons instead of 6 buttons, so I'd always get blisters and lose terribly.
See, that makes me so mad. Like, I hate shitty control formats for fighting games. Like, when you go to an arcade and they only have, like, the shitty octagonal gate sticks, and, like, one of the buttons is not working and it's all gummy and it's too close to the ground, that shit makes me so mad. So the Genesis SF2 port would make me pissed. I will say I see very much the value of playing bad fighting games. Like, one of my favorite things to do is I have this like this torrent engine that just downloads any fighting game that I want off of like Fightcade if I join the lobby for it. So I can just search up any shitty fighting game I want and try it, which is something that me and like my one friend will do if we're just chatting and we want to try a shitty game. So I've tried like a million crazy bad ones. But then you find gems. Like, I played World Heroes, but that's kind of a classic. Tried that, it was awesome, you know. I tried Jackie Chan Fists of Fire. That game is so weird. But then you run into shitty garbage like Street Fighter the movie, the game, which is just like an irredeemably fucking bad game.
There's no way they made a Street Fighter based off of the Street Fighter movie.
Yes, they did. And let me tell you, it's awesome because it's completely like rotoscoped of the actual actors, and the voice lines are done by the actors in the movie, which is hilarious. So it's kind of like Mortal Kombat, but it's so fucking bad.
Like, you're not getting confused with like the live action Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero movie arcade game, are you?
Oh no, I've played this Street Fighter the movie, the game, recently. It's so so bad, and it's hilarious because the voice actor for Ken and like the live action actor, when he did his voice lines, they were like, okay, you gotta say Shoryuken when you do the Shoryuken, because that's what you say. And he was like, I don't want to say that stupid fucking like Japanese word, so he just says dragon. And so it's so funny every time you do the Shoryuken with Ken, he goes dragon, 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 and it's like, oh god, it's such a funny game. It's so bad though.
That sounds really stupid.
It is so dumb, but I love it.
Do you remember in the fucking Neon Harbor live action press start movie where they had that fucking rotoscope actors for like Scorpion and Sub-Zero? Do you remember if they made them say any of their lines in that movie?
I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't remember it very well, but I'm guessing Scorpion probably said like, get over here, you know?
Hey! Get over here!
Lin Ku's a little tense.
You know, I used to be just like him.
That was a good movie. I like that movie a lot.
It's a bit of a weird classic, you know? Like, it's very charming in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
This game oozes so much personality. Like, I love all the character designs. And this game has, like, the most original characters of any Street Fighter game. Like, it has so many characters that didn't show up again for a long time or that never showed up again. It's super unique. The art style is not like any other Street Fighter game. The soundtrack is like a combination of hip-hop, drum and bass, electronic dance music. It's like really cool. It's just such a great aesthetic to this game. Yeah, they wanted to do no characters from the original games, but then I think they relinquished and like, okay, we got to do Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li. But most of them were totally new for the SF3 kind of series of games, and I love it. Like, as much as I love Street Fighter 2, like, fuck E Honda. Like, I don't need him. Fuck Blanca. I hate fucking Blanca. We don't need those characters, you know? You know, fuck Blanca. I hate Blanca.
I don't know. I feel like the only character I really liked out of the original Street Fighters, or at least the ones I played, is like, what's his name? The funny Spanish guy with the clown mask.
Oh, you like Vega?
Yeah, I like Vega.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
I will say, Vega is actually really awesome. I forgot about him until you just mentioned it, but I like him a lot too.
I like it when he clings to the background and does the funny big jump.
Yeah, he's awesome. His theme is really good. I like his character design. And oh, I did a fucking parry. Hell yeah.
Nice. I always knew you could do it.
Thank you. Boom, random super from full screen. But no, yeah, Vega rules. Yeah, and in Street Fighter 2 Super Turbo, he's broken. So if you like him, that's another good excuse to play as him. I also like Super Turbo. That's like my other favorite Street Fighter game, probably besides this. But I'm not good at it.
I'm not good at any Street Fighters. My fingers are too slow and weak.
It's true. It's a dexterity thing for you. Like, it's not that you can't play them, but like, you just literally are in physical pain after one match.
Like, it's not really a problem I have with any other fighting game series. It's just that Street Fighter is just tight enough that I can't get it, like, a hang of it.
I think Tekken 2 did a number on you as well.
Yeah. But I could still do Tekken 2. I could do a couple matches of Tekken 2. Street Fighter, I can only get through, like, half a match before I start, like, having my fingers turn to dust and blood.
Yeah, I think the sheer speed of the attacks in Street Fighter, like, you can just mash light punches so fast.
Yeah, and especially the Turbo one. Like, that's, like, I can't even keep up with a regular Street Fighter.
Now, don't ever play Marvel vs. Capcom, or you might pass away. Because that shit's fast as fuck. I'm so bad at Marvel vs. Capcom. Any team fighting game, I literally cannot grasp, other than King of Fighters, which I really love.
Yeah.
But like Marvel vs. Capcom, Skullgirls, like any tag team fighter, I'm physically incapable of playing. I'm just so bad at them.
One of these days, we gotta, like, play the fucking Kinnikuman fighting game.
Yes, that game is fucking awesome, honestly. Like, when we
It is,
tried
like,
that game, I didn't know what to
Yeah.
expect, but I actually love it.
It is downright my favorite fighting game of all time. It is spectacular. It is so fucking classy. All the characters are so good. All the special moves.
And I can't even fault you for that, because, like, for a 3D arena fighter, you expect some shit like the Naruto Ultimate Storm games or something, or like Bloody Roar, which is kind of good too. But like,
No, I like Bloody Roar. Like, the concept of turning into a monster and having a separate health bar is fucking stupid because you can just cheese through that.
yeah,
But the concept is neat.
it is
The
cool.
controls are good.
But like, to me, there's a whole like barrier of quality difference between Bloody Roar and Kinnikuman, where like,
Yeah.
I take
Kinnikuman blows
seriously.
Bloody Roar out of the water.
Yeah, it's like a really legit fighting game, kind of like Tekken, but not as complicated, and it's so fun.
Like, all the characters in Kinnikuman are so iconic that even if the game was bad, it'd still probably be fun just because of all the goofy moves. But the fact that they went out of their way to make it a legitimate, like, top-tier fucking fighting game.
Like, you can do
Yeah.
some stupid fucking combos too, and the supers are so hype. Like when you accidentally do one of the fucking sick grapples, you know, a muscle buster or some shit, and totally fucking wreck somebody. It's just so hype, especially when you don't know the moves, because the move list is in Japanese and you're like learning everything, and you figure something out, and it's like, holy fuck, I just broke his fucking neck. Like, that shit is awesome.
Yeah. I also really like that they went, like, a Smash Brothers approach with it, and, like, they only used moves from, like, the fucking show instead of, like, making anything up.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Because, like, legit, all of the finishers and all the moves are things that they actually used in the show.
It respects the canon a lot. One thing I love about this game is that like every character has a taunt, but the taunts actually have like in-game functionality. Like, taunting is good for you, which is cool.
Oh yeah, doesn't it do something, like, really fucking goofy for the Fedora alien?
The Fedora alien?
Yeah, the Fedora alien, what's...
I have never heard someone call 12 that, nor have I ever thought of him as wearing a fedora, but now I will think of him that way. Oh, the Fedora alien, you mean Q. Okay, now I know who you're talking about. He does wear a fedora, but I was so confused.
I think I distinctly remember that, like, one of them, their, like, taunt did something really fucking goofy. Like, it, like, always added their power up a little bit, like, each time you did it.
Yeah.
So, like, they suck unless you taunt, like, 50 times.
That's actually completely true. He's really bottom tier, but if you taunt 3 times in a match with him, and it has to be 3 times in a row to get the full bonus, then he has the most health of any character in the game if you do that.
I don't know, how important even is health in this game?
It's super important just because in any fighting game, you're obviously not going to want to die. And Q sucks so bad that he needs to be able to tank hits in order to not lose every single match. Oh, fuck. And like, the way that I think of health in a fighting game is that the more health you have, the more situations and like guessing situations, like rock, paper, scissors type moments, you can survive if you guess wrong.
That's definitely true, but I also feel like there's an aspect of like other stats making up for like a lack of health. Like if you're really good at dodging or you have really strong combos, you can have like less health than other people and get away with it just fine.
That's completely true. Like definitely Chun-Li has a little bit lower health because she's Street Fighter is sexist and all the female characters have low health. But she's the best character in the game regardless because she's just fucking busted in every possible way.
Like, to loop it back around to Bloody Roar, that fucking girl with the sword arms or whatever, she dies in like 2 hits, but she does so much damage that it doesn't even matter.
My god, yeah. She's annoying. My favorite character in that game might be the mole ninja guy, which is like such a weird character design.
Yeah.
I love him.
No, Bakuryu is also my favorite.
He's cool, yeah.
I like that he jumps off the walls. I like him for the same reasons I like Vega.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got all the same moves.
There's some sick-ass characters in that game. I like the tiger dude also.
But not the chameleon guy. I don't remember his name, but he's a lot of fun to play.
He is fucking awesome. I think he's, honestly, in terms of character design, like the most interesting and fun. Because he's just crazy. And his grapples are actually really fun and cool.
Like he'll legit just stretch all of his limbs 40 feet and grab you from across the map.
That too. A grappler with like stretchy limbs is fucked up and cool from a fighting game standpoint. This character Yuri and I love, and I almost wish I was playing him right now because he has this cool super where he just puts up like an electric wall and he can beat the shit out of you and make you bounce off of it, and it's totally busted.
He does the Aegis reflector.
Exactly. Oh my god, how do you know what that's called? That is what.
No, we were playing like fucking one of the Ghouls and Ghosts game like a long time ago.
Oh yeah, and that's right. I forgot that. It's a funny ass video.
No, because I remember the next day you were like, "Wow, this is the first video that we had where we linked to a video saying a slur."
That's
and it was
true.
like a momentous occasion.
It was. Ah! Oh fuck! I can't believe I just got hit by that tackle full screen. I could have won. That was fucked up.
I think I would have to say, and this is a very controversial opinion, don't like say anything mean to me about it. I'm really putting myself out here when I say this.
I might.
But I think I like trying weird, obscure new fighting games.
Really? That's
Like that-
crazy.
I know I'm like a freak.
You're talking to Mr. Obscure Fighting Games here. I've played frickin' I've played Holosseum. That one's fucking obscure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Holosseum, the martial arts world championship competition. Pulse pounding action guaranteed.
What the fuck is Holosseum?
It's a weird ass fighting game that came out back in the day that has only like 4 characters. It was like an experimental game, and I've played it in person at an arcade before as well, where it's projected on like a quote-unquote hologram screen as like a gimmick instead of being on a normal game screen, and it's really boring because the background where the characters fight is just pure blackness, and it's like a normal fighting game, but there's like no movement because you just like stand next to each other and fight, and the sprites are pretty good if I remember correctly. Like it's cool looking, but there's like no music or anything, no fucking cool background. It's literally just like a dumb hologram gimmick thing.
That sounds terrible.
It's not a very great game, but it's kind of a fun gimmick, and it is very much like a real fighting game. It's just
I mean, like,
bad.
the hologram angle seems interesting, but it doesn't seem like it has anything to offer beyond that.
It really doesn't. It's fun to try once. That's about it.
Yeah.
Fuck! Damn, I totally choked. I'm switching to Ryu. He fucking rules.
It's okay. I won't fault you for it. I won't blame you.
No,
I won't lord it over you for weeks and weeks.
see, you're joking like you will, but you actually won't. That's the
It's
thing.
because I legitimately don't care. You can play Ryu if you want.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna judge you.
It's
You're allowed to make that decision. No one can fault you for playing Ryu.
This is the one fighting game character that I feel really super comfortable with. And I'm going to say that and then perform really badly. But he's the one where I can go into a tournament and I won't win or do well, but I will annoy people and I will win a couple matches. And it feels good. Like, I don't know why, but he's just, you know, in this game specifically, he's the one. He's got all the buttons I need.
He's the man. He is the Street Fighter.
He literally is.
He's
Like,
the
the
only
game
character with
is
an
it.
animation where he like leans over 90 degrees at the hip and then punches the street.
Fighting the AI is stupid.
AI fighters in fighting games are always bullshit.
Yeah. It's like not even really playing the game because it's just a matter of whether they decide to block or not. And there's no like psychological aspect to playing against the CPU. So it's
Yeah.
like you're just not playing the game.
You almost always gotta cheese it when it comes to like fucking fighting games, arcade modes.
It is fun though.
Like to bring it back around to fucking Bloody Roar 3, the fucking like arcade mode AI fights and that get really fucking brutal, but if you pick the Beetle Man, you can just like fucking spam your suplex move over and over and you'll just literally win without ever taking damage, and it's so fucking stupid.
Yes. That's my favorite thing about arcade modes is when there is an exploit that just makes the computer give up. Like in Street Fighter 2, like for whatever reason against most of the AI characters, just doing a jumping kick and then doing a sweep right afterwards when you land is enough to like totally confuse the majority of the computer opponents.
And I don't really play a lot of fighting games aside from like those exact three, so I always have to like bring it back to those three, which I will
Yeah,
right now for like the
you're not
fucking
a true gamer.
no, I'm not a true gamer. I'm sorry, but no,
You're
for
fake.
like the Kaniku Man AI arcade mode fights, like the difficulty wasn't based on how far you got; it was based on like which character you were fighting. So, like, different characters would be better at blocking or throws or attacks, which seems like a good idea, until you get the fucking Great Phoenix, who is, like, so fucking frame perfect that he's, like, an actual nightmare. Like, you could
Yeah.
just sit there for 40 minutes trying to, like, do anything, and he'll just absolutely deny you, and you can't do anything but just sweat and cry.
Now, I will say though that really hard fighting game bosses are some of the like most absolutely hype and exciting thing in any video game. Like to me, some of the most fun I've ever had is like trying to beat really hard stages in fighting
Yeah.
games and feeling like I just won the battle of the century. You know, there's something so satisfying about that type of boss fight.
Like, every time I did that arcade mode, I'd always hope I didn't get a fight against Great Phoenix, and then when I did, I'd just sit there for like fucking upwards of 30 minutes. The only way to beat him was just to not get hit. It was awful, it was terrible. But like when I did beat him, it did feel amazing. And then when I beat the arcade mode, I got nothing for it, nothing meaningful. I got a couple of grayscale PNGs and like a fucking gallery.
It's about the feeling of achievement, you know? It's about the
Yeah.
emotion. My favorite thing about like the King of Fighters arcade modes is that like those games are known for having super fucked up boss fights, but they also have insane combos and like super sick shit that you can do. So you just feel like a badass if you beat like Omega Rugal, who's like a totally bullshit boss who can do anything and has unblockable attacks. But if you win, you're a badass.
You gotta get those bragging rights.
This boss fight, on the other hand, sucks because it's not that fun to fight him, and he gets easier every time you lose to him, which I think is a
Oh,
really
that's
shitty
garbage.
feature. I hate that. It makes it feel like it's just doesn't count.
Like, I hate when games do that.
I feel like Resident Evil 4 has that too, and when I was a teenager and I found out that Resident Evil 4 had like adaptive difficulty, I got so depressed. I was like, what the fuck? So like my fucking victories meant nothing? Damn.
Like, Ghouls and Ghosts has adaptive difficulty, but I feel like that one's kind of stupid because like my muscle memory is like set to like the actual first run through. So if you lose a couple times, it gives you like different patterns, and then I don't remember what I do, so you get hit a lot.
Right, like how the fuck? That's so weird to imagine that game having adaptive difficulty because it's like you still die in the same amount of hits, and that the shit's still bullshit just because of the way the stages are designed. So it's almost like it doesn't get easier; it just gets different.
Like, no, it gets harder because it puts things in different spots where you don't remember them being.
Yeah.
So
that's
you just
fucking bull.
walk into every attack. It's awful.
Ah, fuck! I tried to do my super there. Shit's trash.
What's the lore behind this man being half red and half blue?
It was 1999, and shit was stupid. No, it's
didn't-
like no. This is gonna sound like I'm making it up, but he's actually the leader of the Illuminati.
No.
It doesn't sound real, does it?
Okay, but why would being the leader of the Illuminati make you like a half red, half blue man who can like shoot ice out of his hands?
Well, he was also a genetic experiment created by the Illuminati in a lab, and he's supposed to be based on like a Greek god, and his blue half shoots ice and his red half shoots fire. And so that is why he's half red and half blue, I guess. And the real actual reason in real life why he's red and blue is because Capcom wanted to show off the fact that they could have two sprites for when he's standing on the left side of the screen versus the right. Because in Street Fighter 2, like Guile, for example, who has a tattoo on his shoulder, just had the tattoo on both sides because they didn't want to make sprites for both sides. But in this game, they had enough processing power to make him red on his forward side when he's standing on the left, and vice versa. So that's why they made him that. It's because they wanted to be able to show that they could have like differing sprites for each side.
I mean, I could see like teenagers in the fucking like 90s going to the arcade and seeing this man like flip over to the like right and then fucking losing their shit when he's like the correct colors on the right sides.
Right, because like no other fighting game that I can think of has that or had that before this. So it's kind of crazy.
Like, it seems like such a mundane thing, but if it's like the first time you ever see that, you're just gonna scream.
Right.
The real reason behind him being half red and half blue is an allegory. For
Oh shit.
he was
For
genetically
Blue Raptor.
engineered to be their leader, and they needed the perfect centrist to not decide. This bit is stupid. I'm giving up.
They needed the perfect centrist between authoritarian right and left-leaning liberal to be able to make perfect decisions.
Oh, that was a stupid bit.
Let's see, what's the best character for beating Gil? Because his fight is fucking stupid. I'm gonna pick Urien, because Urien is his brother, and his name sounds like urine.
Very classy.
And also because I think Aegis Reflector might be a good way to deal with his bullshit.
What is the lore reason behind fucking Red Bloomin having his eyes point in different directions on like the character's fight start screen?
Well, that's actually really offensive because he was born cross-eyed, so you probably shouldn't bring that up.
Oh, his genetic experiment wasn't perfect. That's why he's like half and half, but also he has a lazy eye.
Exactly. Yeah, he was a little bit inbred, so he's got some issues. Do you know the Pog Champ emote, right?
Yeah.
The guy who is the real person who made that face is named Ryan Gutierrez, aka Gutex, and this character Urien was his main character in this game, and he would always play with this blue Smurf color. That's how I came to know it. But then Gutex became a weird like anti-vaxxer conspiracy theorist guy, so it became really sad.
Doesn't he know his main is basically a vaccine? He was born in it.
He was made in a lab too, yeah.
Just like COVID, he was
Illuminati
born in
made
a
COVID.
lab.
Yeah. That's a thing. Oh, fuck yeah, that's what I wanted to do. This whole time, I just wanted to land a satisfying Aegis juggle on him, and I did it. Pyrokinesis. I will say, I like Gil's voice. It's really good.
He sounds like an old man.
Yeah, he probably is an old man. Sometimes I think about the voice actors that they hired for this shit, and I'm like, they probably didn't even know what game they were about to be in.
It's really
Like
crazy
they're-
to think that every Street Fighter voice actor is dead.
Right? They all died in that accident. Fuck! I was so close to winning. It's depressing. No, but yeah, like, I one time read a thing that was like about like the voice actor for Dracula or something. It was Dracula or Richter in Symphony of the Night, and like he was contacted by an enthusiast of the game to ask him about his experiences working on the game, and he's like, I literally don't remember that shit. My agent just told me there was some kids game that I could be in. I read the fucking lines and then I left, and so I don't remember it. And then I thought to myself, like, there's probably a fuck ton of games like that where, like, unlike Metal Gear, for example, where all the voice actors are like notable and remembered, and like David Hayter is like known for being in Metal Gear. Like most video games with iconic vocal performances, the voice actors probably never got paid very much for that shit, and they don't even fucking remember it because it was just a blip in their daily life.
I mean, like, the line reads in fucking Symphony of the Night sound like they just read through it once without giving a shit.
Yeah, honestly. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. I love the sprites in this game. Like, there's these cool websites where you can look at all the individual sprites from this game, and like there's so many cool like stretch and squash frames that look so funny isolated, but they're so genius. Like especially the character Makoto in this game, the karate girl, like her sprites are awesome, and she has so many that are just like pure distorted nonsense, but they look so fluid. It's like an insane amount of motion. It's like I feel like there's some animations in this game that are like one keyframe per frame, you know, like it's like just incredibly detailed animation.
Yeah.
It's quite a high watermark for video games in general, I would say.
Like, all the line work on these sprites is really good as well. It looks a little goofy on some characters where they have like certain parts of their bodies it's just like a flat color with like no texturing, like Hugo's hair.
Yeah.
But it works well for the readability of him when he's actually using his attacks.
That's true. And to me, like the other huge sprite-based game that was never as popular as it should have been was Metal Slug. And SNK to me is like the master of fucking sprite work. Like even up to King of Fighters 13. To me, that's the other like sprite-based fighting game that's such a marvel to look at. That came out a little bit later, and that was like way too expensive, but they did it anyway out of passion. And this game is similar.
Metal Slug looks amazing. Like, the way they decided to stylize it really worked in its favor.
It's extremely true. It's such a beautiful game. The animations are crazy. I also like, around this time, Marvel 2 has a lot of good sprites, but a lot of them are reused. Capcom vs. SNK 2 and Capcom vs. SNK 1 was also by Capcom around this same time, a little bit later, and it's filled with like crazy good sprites, especially for the SNK characters, honestly, even though it was made by Capcom. And then the SNK version, which is SVC Chaos, while being a really weird looking game, also has a ton of like really beautiful sprites and animations that are super cool. And those are the sprites like from Capcom vs. SNK and SVC Chaos, and from Metal Slug, to be honest, that you see just like used over and over and over in like amateur pixel art and on like YouTube fan animations and stuff, and like those YouTube like sprite fighting videos. Like that era of sprites get used so much because they're so cool.
Oh shit, you did it.
I did it, and here's Urian about to blow up a bunch of shit in a pyramid so that the Illuminati will be his.
If he blows up the pyramid, he owns the Illuminati.
And there's Gil sitting in a fucking tank.
Like, after he loses the fight, he crawls back to his tank, and then he, like, sits in there.
I really don't know what the deal with that was, to be honest. There's some funny endings, though, in the story mode of this game. Like, I think Ken's ending, maybe not in this one, maybe in the last one, his ending is just him getting punched in the balls by his son.
Ken has a kid?
Yep, Ken has a wife and child, which is pretty odd, right?
That's like a big twist.
It's strange. It's weird. It's especially weird considering that his best friend is Ryu, which is just like a homeless man, and he's like a rich father and business owner, and it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Alright, there's something here, so show yourself already.
Come on! What is it? A robot? A seven-headed mongoose? A giant flaming skull? I don't know. Is it bees? I hope it's not bees.